Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be about my favorite bronzers. So I'm just going to dive straight in. I have about 6 bronzers here. I'm going to call it like my top 5 series, I think, but I've got 6 bronzers here. It's okay. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Benefit's HOOLA. This is long raved about in the beauty community, and rightly so. It is a gorgeous cool toned bronzer that is completely matte. So a lot of people would use this to bronze up their face, but also to add a bit of definition and contour. I really like this. This was my first bronzer love, and I always make sure that I have one in my stocks. I can't be without it, and I often put this in my handbag if I need to touch up. I don't know why, I just always throw this one in my handbag. It's a really great colour for a lot of people. This does not come off orange on my skin or very artificial. It just adds warmth and definition in a really nice way. And it's a great product for adding the bronze, but also a bit of contour at the same time. I'm not one of those people who is like, you can only use bronzer to bronze and you can't use it to contour. You can do whatever you want, really. And HOOLA is one of those products, if you pop a little bit under your cheekbone for a contour, who cares? It might not be as grey based as a contour shade, but I think it's gorgeous. My second favourite is from Laura Mercier. This is the Matte Radiance Baked Powder in Bronze 03. This is a gorgeous powder. It is a really nice shade of tan. It's kind of comparable to MAC's Give Me Sun, which is a very orangey, warm bronzer that a lot of people really like. This is baked, so it's going to last you ages. And I find this the type of bronzer that you just can't go wrong with. If you just dip a fluffy brush into this and bronze around the perimeter of your face, kind of like in a 3 shape here, you're just going to get a lovely bronze natural glow. It looks gorgeous and quite natural. Like, the color is a very natural tan color. I would say this is the one you just can't go wrong with. It is gorgeous. And as the name suggests, it's a matte bronzer, but it does kind of add like a nice sheen to the skin. Like, not a sheen, it's kind of like a glow. It's not like flat matte false looking. It does still look like skin, so that's a really nice one. The next bronzer I have here is another quite recent favorite of mine, but I really enjoy it if it will open. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion in the shade 20M, I think. This is a beautiful bronzer for pale people, I think. It does look quite dark in the pan. Like, if you compare it to Benefit's HOOLA, it does look quite dark, but actually this takes forever to build up on the skin. So if you go in with your brush, you're not going to get instant insane color. You do have to kind of go in and really build it up, which I think is exactly what pale girls need. It's not necessarily that they need a really light bronzer, they just need something that's not going to go blotchy and too intense straight away. This blends out really smoothly, really seamlessly, and like I said, it's just beautiful for building up color. And it's also not too grey toned. It's quite a natural bronze look, more on like the orange side, but not in a tangoed kind of way. When I say orange, I definitely don't mean an orange bronzer, because I wouldn't have an orange bronzer in my favorites. But yeah, I just think this is a gorgeous one, and certainly one to try out if you're new to bronzer and you need something that you can build up and not just feel like it's going on too intensely. If the Victoria's Secret glow could be packaged, it would be the Hourglass Luminous Bronze powders, or ambient lighting bronze powders. That's exactly what it would be. I just feel like these bronzers are just the ultimate Victoria's Secret glow product. So I have both shades. This is Luminous Bronze Light and this is Radiant Bronze Light. So in the pan they look quite similar. This one looks a bit more pink and this one looks a bit more orange, but actually the depth of tone looks quite similar in the pan, but actually on the skin, Luminous Bronze Light is way lighter. I find Radiant Light to be a little bit too dark for me. So if you're trying to figure out which shade you want to get, I would go with Radiant for the darker skin tones and Luminous for the lighter ones. Now, this is the kind of bronzer that I wouldn't purchase as your first bronzer, because it doesn't exactly do a whole lot of like matte bronzing or sculpting. I know that sounds really weird, but it gives you a bronze glow to your face, but definitely in a kind of shimmery, kind of luminous way. The other bronzers I've just showed you are more natural, they're more matte, whereas this one is almost glittery. I wouldn't say that it has thick chunky glitter in it, but it definitely has a sheen and a shimmer. So it's going to give you that kind of highlighted glow. Whereas if you're just looking for a bronzer, I would stick with one of the other ones. I do really love these products though, and if you're going for that ultimate Victoria's Secret glow, these are stunning. They're not quite as long lasting as the other bronzers, but again, I'm not kind of going for an extreme bronze look with these. It's just kind of that natural sun-kissed glow. The next two bronzers I have are my last two, and I think they're joint first in my favorite bronzers of all time. I just can't seem to pick between them. So the first one is Bobbi Brown's Bronzing Powder in Golden Light. This is a new find of mine, but I absolutely love it. Every time I apply this, I'm just like, why are you so smooth? Why are you so gorgeous? It is the perfect color. It doesn't come out super orangey on my skin. It's really cool, and it's really good at sculpting and bronzing at the same time. I feel like it creates really kind of nice sculpted shadow on my face, but also bronzing. I just love it, and it's matte as well. There's no shimmer in this. It's just the smoothest, easiest to blend bronzer ever. I've got it on today. I don't know if you can see it in this light, but I just love it. I think if you just want one bronzer and you don't want to spend money on 2 or 3 trying to find the right one, this one or my next one are most certainly the ones to go for. And the other joint first product is NARS Laguna. This is limited edition packaging, so it looks a little bit different than normal, but this is NARS Laguna. This is such a gorgeous bronzer. It is definitely worth the hype that it gets in the beauty community. This is a gorgeous bronzer that again can be used for bronzing, but also creating a little bit of shape on the face. Not full on contouring, but you know, if you bring a little bit under the cheekbones, nobody's gonna hate you for it. It does have a very slight shimmer in it, but I wouldn't call this a shimmery bronzer. Like when you compare it to the Hourglass ones, like that's straight up shimmer, whereas that looks matte in the pan. And the glitter or shimmer in this definitely doesn't translate onto my face. This is just another easy to blend, smooth, gorgeous bronzer. I find that when I'm pale and when I'm fake tanned, this bronzer suits me equally. I feel like when you look at it in the pan, it looks quite dark, but actually it takes a while to build up. You can build it up in very sheer layers, and I find it to be suitable for pale skin as well. So maybe if you are looking for a bronzer and you're pale, try this in store and see how you go. I think the worst thing you can have on pale skin is bronzer that's too orange or too dark, and this is nice and kind of more gray based, I think, in my opinion anyway, and it's also can be built up sheerly, so you're not going to get that intense kind of orange blotchiness on your face, which is not a good look. But yeah, I definitely think that it is a close tie between these two. These are my most used bronzers, and I could do without all the others if I just had these two, and I could probably do with just one of these in my collection. Like I said before, I wouldn't have all this makeup if I wasn't a blogger. I don't think I would have so many in each category. So you really only need one of these bronzers. Maybe if you're feeling like treating yourself, get a matte one and a shimmery one. You know, maybe get something like the Bobbi Brown one and the Hourglass one so you can switch up your look. But you really, really don't need every single one. That's just insane. I'm insane. That's why I have them all. So I just wanted to also share with you at the end some of my favorite bronzing brushes. They're all dirty. I'm really sorry. I've been traveling a lot lately and stuff, and I also haven't been feeling very well, so I haven't had time to wash them as often as normal. So they're a little bit dirty, but hey, you're still going to get the information that you need. So the first brush that I have here is the ZOEVA Luxe Face Definer 101 brush. So this brush is a nice big fluffy brush with kind of like a point on the top. So with this brush, you can really sweep and bronze onto the face, but because it has that point, you can kind of get a little bit more definition as well. So it's a little bit more precise than just a big fluffy brush, which I really like. I just recommend ZOEVA brushes in general. I just really like them, and I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape or form. I just love ZOEVA. Another brush that I use all the time, and you've probably noticed, is the IT Cosmetics WANDBALL powder brush number 8. It's like this. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous synthetic brush. It's so soft and so fluffy. I think these IT Cosmetics brushes are some of the softest I've ever tried, and I really love this one for powder and bronzing alike. This isn't quite as precise as the last one I showed you, but it is beautiful for dusting bronzer on the face and also powder. Like I said, it's just gorgeous and so soft. I also have two Real Techniques brushes to show you. This first one is the powder brush, I think it's just called. This is really nice for just kind of slapping on bronzer around the perimeter of your face. It is decently soft and it's nice and big as well, so it covers quite a large portion of your face. And then if you are going for more of a sheer bronze look and you don't want to just pack it on, the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Face Brush is really good for that. It's a duo fiber brush that is just applies product so lightly. It's also really good for applying powder really lightly to the face, but this is the bronzer video, so we'll stick with bronzer. Yeah, and it just kind of dusts onto your face the product without it actually getting too harsh. So I really like those four brushes. I will link them all below for you to check out. So those are my top favorite bronzers. Of course, let me know in the comment section what your favorite bronzers were. I need to know. I love knowing what your favorites are. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and I'll talk to you again real soon.